Okay, we're now going to move on to how we can actually position our div on the page. Perhaps we want to now start defining exactly where on the page our div element is going to be placed. So maybe we want to add some margin information. We can specify individually the top and the right and the bottom and the left margins if we want to. So perhaps we want 10 pixels for top margin. Maybe we want 10 pixels for the right as well. And 50 for the bottom. And maybe 200 for the left margin. Okay, so we've defined all of these margins now. Let's have a look at how that affects our document. And there we go. So we've now got a top margin of 10 pixels, a right hand margin of 10 pixels, a bottom margin of 50 pixels, and a left hand margin of 200 pixels. However, it's a bit difficult to see exactly how our div is positioned because we don't know where the border of the div is. So I'm going to now add some border information just so that we can see exactly how this div has been positioned. So if you remember, we can use the shorthand method, so the border style, and remember again the order is really important. So the first thing that we need to define is the border width, which I'm going to make 1 pixel, then the border style, which I'm going to make solid, and then the border color, which I'm going to make that light grey again. There we go. So if we save that, and now let's have a look, and it should be a lot more obvious now how our div has been positioned. There we go. Okay, so just as a reminder, we're 10 pixels at the top. If we go to the right hand side, we're 10 pixels on the right hand side to the edge of the browser window. We're 50 pixels from the bottom of the div to the next element, and we're 200 pixels on the left hand side here. If we go back to our cascading style sheet, we can, as with the previous properties, use a shorthand method, and the shorthand method just uses the margin style, and we define our margin starting at the top again, going around clockwise. So the first one is the top margin, so we had 10 pixels, I think, and then we had the right margin, which again was 10 pixels, and the bottom margin, which is 50 pixels, and the left hand margin, which we defined as 200 pixels. So if we save that and go back to our page and reload it, there we go. We should notice that nothing's changed because the numbers haven't changed, just the method. We've used a shorthand method to define our margin.